Welcome back, Gundam guys and Gundam gals. Patrick Grade here from GGInfiniteNews.com. This time bringing you the video review for the new high-grade Gundam Age model, the Zeydra. So in this video I'm going to try to streamline my review process a little bit and get everything done in one video with the ability for you guys to hop back and forth using some chapter selections down in the info section. So we'll see how it works, and maybe this will be the new template for my high-grade reviews. I still plan to take some extra time with the master grade reviews though, because they're more intensive and a little more special. But we'll see how it works out. So for the unboxing part of the Zeydra, here's a quick look at the box. Some nice cover art, of course, showing off a cool action pose for the Zeydra there. The information along the sides. So nice box art as usual for the high-grade Gundam Age series. So taking a look at the plates, the A plate is small but really colorful with orange, yellow, red, and clear green. Some nice looking pieces here. You get two plates of red for the main body and outer armor. And then a plate of black for the weapons and joints and some accent pieces here and there. There's also a plate of polycaps, of course. A small sheet of foil stickers. And here's a quick look at the manual with the artwork on front. Some nice stuff on the inside. And of course the instructions on the inside to put everything together. So pretty typical layout for a Gundam Age box. 4 or 5 plates, a nice manual, and some nice box art. So here's a look at the legs and feet. As you can see, for the color scheme we have a lot of red with some black here on the hip joints and on top of the feet, as well as yellow on the calf muscles and on the bottom of the feet. So quite a bit of color down here. For articulation you get about a 180-degree bend at the knees there. The ankles are pretty free to move around as well. They're on a nice little ball joint there that allows for quite a bit of freedom, much more so than some of the other Vagan suits. The ankle guard is also on a ball joint that connects to the back of the calf here, so you get quite a bit of movement out of that guy as well. And even though there's segmented feet down here, there's no bend or anything in the middle, so that's a solid piece. I put some black lining on the legs and around the calf muscles here and on the knees to help bring out some detail there. So that's pretty much all the panel lining that I did do for the kit. I think it helps out quite a bit to separate some panels there. The torso of the Zeydra is pretty similar to the Dorado, with the front and back skirts here being on their own independent ball joint and not having the huge wings come from the backpack. The front skirts are segmented here, so there's an orange piece in the back with red up front, as well as yellow going through the middle of the crotch here, and with some vents on the back. The front skirts stay on pretty well on their ball joint, and unlike the Dorado, the back skirts stay on really well as well. They're very solid and kind of hard to come off, so much better connection there on the skirts when compared to the Dorado. And then on back here there's a port for the sword to plug into, and also on the bottom there's a spot for the action base, of course, which you can cover up with this little piece here if you want to. Some nice color separation on here, and it holds together really well, so that's nice to see. And so here's a look at the chest and backpack unit, which represents all of the colors in the kit. We have orange, yellow, red, black, and the clear green. And for the clear green, Bandai got smart and gave us silver foil stickers to put behind the clear green pieces to help highlight their color. It works really well, especially up here on these pieces on the wing tips. Without the silver there, it's pretty dull, so it definitely helps to have the silver behind there. So unlike on the Dorado or the Gafran or the Zeydra, you don't have to paint the silver back there to get the full effect of having the clear green. And of course all the different colors there are unique pieces, except for on the back of the wings here. These two gray pieces on either side are stickers, but they do stay on pretty well and they line up nicely, so they don't look too much like stickers, at least not for now. And as far as moving parts, really the only thing that moves are the wings back here on a polycap joint. That allows for in and out movement like that, and rotation if you want it to. The chest unit looks really nice if you can get over all the color. It's a bit much for my taste, or a bit too bright at least, but I think it looks nice, and it's nice to see all the color separation as well. For overall color design and use of plastic, the chest unit is definitely a winner. It's just a little too bright in my opinion, but that's just me. Next up are the arms and shoulders, which are pretty standard fare for the Vegan mobile suit so far. Nothing too unique here except for maybe the design around the wrists. Decent amount of bend, the shoulder joint, rotation, a little over 90-degree bend at the elbow there, and of course the wrists can swivel around if you want them to. So nothing too fancy that we haven't seen before, just a little bit different packaging, that's all. So next up is the head unit for the Zeydra. As you can see, it kind of follows the Dorado head design pretty well, except for the 2 yellow ears coming off of either side there, and of course the 2 commander fins there on top. For the most part, it's a similar design, just a little bit different here and there. No moving parts or anything, no moving jaw muscle or any of that kind of stuff. And the green sticker below the visor, that looks really cool too. Pretty standard fare all around. Alright, so for hands, you get 2 sets of the typically posed Vegan hands. The open hand with the Vulcan cannon there in the wrist that moves around. And if you have an extra beam saber blade, you can attach the beam saber handle into there. And of course the closed fist as well, with a lot of lining opportunities on both hands. And gray cuffs on top. But you also get a third unique hand to hold onto the beam weapon. And since the hands are symmetrical, you can have it held in the left or right arm, just depending on which way you flip the hand around. And of course here's a beam rifle. I don't know if it's a rifle or a gun, kind of in between. And this is the first handheld weapon we've seen for the Vegan suit, so I think it's pretty cool. It reminds me a lot of Halo's design, kind of organically shaped, with a lot of nice detail down the center there. You get 2 green stickers for the barrel and for the camera. So there's a lot of molded in detail there. A pretty cool design overall. And you also get a tail/sword weapon that's similar to what was on the Zetas, with a port here on the back that can plug into the back of the torso or into the palm of the hand using the little Vulcan port there, so it can hold it sort of like a sword. And it can move around the palm a little bit if you want it to. So here's the mobile suit all put together. And my initial impressions are that's a lot of color, but I do like the design aesthetically overall. The color scheme is a little too bright in my opinion, especially with the orange and the yellow. If they would tone it down some, have a darker color scheme, I think would be more my personal preference. But of course, it's got to be red of some sort, since it's Char's counterpart in this universe. But the yellow and the orange is a little too much in my opinion, but that's not such a huge deal. But design-wise, I really like the overall shape of the suit, and it feels really solid. Stands up on its own 2 feet quite well, even without the tail touching the ground. So I appreciate that fact when compared to the Dorado or the Gafrans. Definitely a well-balanced kit. For articulation, with the front skirts out of the way, you get up about that far. The legs can come backwards about yay far, and a nice bend at the knee there. And the feet stay solidly planted on the ground even with a decent split. So they have good ankles on the feet there. For the torso, you can come all the way around if you wanted to, 360. With the wings out of the way, you can get the shoulders to rotate 360 as well. And come up quite a bit. And of course the elbow has a pretty decent bend there. And the arms can reach across the chest a decent amount there. And the head is free to move around 360 if you want it to. Nothing to get in this way. And of course the flaps in the back have a couple different positions they can be in to add some dynamic poses for the back there. So some good articulation, and again very solidly balanced. So like the Dorado, you get a nice kneeling pose out of the Zeydra. Really good articulation in the hip joints and the knees. So that's always nice to see for a high grade. So here's the Zeydra with both weapons in hand. I think the sword's a nice idea, but the way it attaches to the hand's a little goofy. but it's the same way as it was on the Zeydra, so it's been used before. It just looks a little weird having the big chunk of stuff there in the palm like that, so it's not too bad. If you get it posed right, you can kind of forget about it. But I do think the rifle looks really cool. The hand holds onto it just fine and it stays in place there, so overall for a first design of the handgun, I think it's pretty nice. And there's no weight issues or anything with the gun since it's pretty light. It stays in place pretty well at various angles. So even without an action base, I think you can get some nice ground poses out of it, thanks to the mobile ankles, thanks to the articulate yet sturdy ankles, and especially with not having the tail weapon on the backpack. So there's definitely a good balance to the kit for ground poses, which is good to see for a vegan suit. But of course, if you do have an action base, it wouldn't hurt to put it up on there to get some cool aerial poses going on, or at least a couple that's pushed on the edge of the box. So definitely a nice kit for articulation and posing. Everything's pretty solid from the ankles to the side skirts and back skirts, so not a lot of problem with stuff falling off, which was kind of an issue on the previous vegan suits. But the Zeydra seemed to overcome some of those previous design flaws, so definitely a solid kit all around for posing and playing with. So for a quick size comparison, here's the Zeydra next to the Dorado and the Gundam Age 2. And as you can see, it's pretty similar in size to the Dorado. Maybe a little taller, but definitely a lot more wide in the shoulders. And definitely taller than the Gundam Age 2 in both height and overall bulk from the sides and stuff. So definitely an opposing looking bad guy suit, aside from the bright color scheme. Alright, so let's go and wrap up the review and talk about the bad things and the good things of this kit. And as far as bad things go, I really only have one real complaint, and that's just simply the color scheme of the kit. It's a little too bright in my opinion, especially with the orange and the yellow. But that's really just a minor point. Everything else with the kit is pretty top notch. The balance, the way everything holds together, specifically in the torso with the side skirts and stuff, it all holds together just fine. The color separation is nice, even though I don't care too much for the colors. Having the 4 or 5 colors all represented here by plastic and not stickers is really awesome to see in a high grade. Especially in the chest where there's overlapping pieces of red, black, and orange, and the green. So a lot of good color separation and part separation that really help make this kit look nice. And I could definitely see this be painted in a darker color scheme, like similar to the Chronos, which looks awesome with the black and the gold and yellow. So definitely, aside from the color scheme, this is a fantastic kit. It was really fun to build. Similar to the other vegan suits, but different enough, especially in the chest and the waist, to make it a fun build. And even the legs were different as well. The knees don't attach the same way that they do on the other kits. So even though it looks pretty similar to the overall vegan design, the assembly process is different enough to make it a unique experience. So definitely a good kit to get, even if you have some of the other vegan suits. And again, like I said, aside from the color scheme, I really don't have any problems with the kit at all. So if you can get past the color scheme and you want a nice vegan suit to put together, the Zeydra is definitely a good choice. And especially for under $20, you get a lot of nice part separation, especially for a high grade. So good stuff all around with this kit. Definitely take the time to pick it up and put it together. So of course, thanks a lot for watching. Let me know what you think with a comment down below. Like if you do, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Please stay tuned for the next round, which will be several high grade seed kits. And hopefully that Master Grade Age 1 Normal will come soon. And thank you to Gundam Guy for providing the kit. Please check out the link below if you want to pick up your own. And stay tuned for more videos, and I will see you soon.